Hey guys, so I actually want to give you a framework to what is core to us at Masterlife, which is how to be happy, how to be consistently happy, right? Happiness isn't about I feel elevated all the time. Okay, it's actually about every time you feel down, you're able to pull yourself back up and stay consistently at ease or you feel peaceful. Okay, so I want to give you a bunch of frameworks, and it's a lot of it's come from my experience as well as my interactions with therapists, as well as obviously doing a bunch of reading around this. Okay, so the first thing is I remember it was 2017, and I was writing this book, and I'd collected information from all these entrepreneurs. Imagine founders of Baiju, founders of SlideShare, Practo, InMobi, right? And I had all this information, and I told them, listen, I'm going to write this awesome book on how each of these companies scaled. And I started to write, and I forgot how to actually put my pen to the paper. I was like, just couldn't get myself to write, dude. It was so difficult. And I felt like I'd let all of them down. And that's when I went through these sinusoidal motions. I was like, oh my God, I have all these amazing people that believe in me versus, oh my God, I'm going to let them down. And I want to minimize a lot of those sinusoidal motions. So I started doing research around happiness. And as you actually do research around happiness, you realize happiness is a skill. It's about positive forming habits. It isn't a state of mind, right? And the more you're able to put these habits in place, the more compounding effect it ends up happening. So I'm going to give you these 4 or 5 frameworks that you can play around with and pick and choose what works for you. So the first framework that I actually wanted to give you was about balance. Balance across these 8 areas of your life, which is business, contribution to the world, fun, finance, personal growth, health, relationships, and spirituality. Imagine it's a circle. Imagine it's like this wheel of life, okay? And every time you're feeling down, see which area is getting affected. Fundamentally, you having balance across these 8 areas is what will help you be consistently happy. It's not about shiny objects. It's not about, oh my God, if I hit $100,000 in salary, or if I made 1 crore in money, or if I had this girlfriend, I'm going to be happy, right? It's actually about balance across these 8 areas. So imagine you have the circle and mark how you're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these areas. Now that leads into the second framework, which is quantifying your emotions. Okay. Now, one of the things that I tried to do in 2017 when I was going through all of these emotions was every time I would do a specific activity, I would write down, okay, how did I feel on a scale of 1 to 10? So if I hung out with my nephew, I felt great. I'd be like, man, I felt like a 9 on 10. If I played basketball, I'd be like, I felt like an 8 on 10. And similarly, let's say if I hung out with someone and I felt a little drained, I'd be like, I felt like a 5 on 10. So imagine you start quantifying everything in your life in terms of emotions, right? And then you'll be able to very quickly discern, okay, these are things that energize me or make me feel great, and these are the things that actually drain me out. And then every time you're feeling down again, look at those set of activities. Be like, okay, these are the activities that led to an increase in energy or increase in happiness level, and these are the set of activities that kind of led to me feeling down, okay? And one of the things that you want to do is there may be some repetitiveness that might lead to an activity feeling low. Let's say if I played basketball every day, and you might be like, man, I need a break. So it might also mean like changing it up within a specific activity. Okay? So start quantifying it, and you'll start becoming a lot more self-aware about how you feel in terms of an emotion. The third framework I actually want to give you is about growth. Okay? So do you remember a time when you actually grew in a specific direction related to a skill? Let's say you learned how to cook. Let's say you learned about finances. Let's say you completed a triathlon. How did that make you feel? Right? Wasn't there that sense of like absolute joy? Now, the important thing is that growth ends up having long-lasting effects in all areas of your life. You suddenly feel a lot more confident. You feel like, oh my God, if I can achieve that skill, I can achieve other things in life. So it's a very self-fulfilling kind of prophecy, right? So every time you feel that you're not growing, think, or every time you feel like you're not in a good place, you're not feeling happy, think what you can do in terms of a skill that can help you grow as an individual. The fourth framework I actually want to give you is about locus of validation. So actually, when I visited a therapist, one of the things that she told me was I need to shift my locus of validation, or where I get my sense of who I am and how I feel about myself, from within, not externally. I think what's happened today out there is everyone's like, Man, I put up these posts on Instagram, dude, I got 50 likes. People are playing the status game. People are playing, I got all these followers. And over a period of time, when you start depending on this, if that following drops, you can feel terrible about yourself. Apparently, recently, someone on TikTok got banned in India, right? And there was someone in Bihar or somewhere in the north, because their account got taken away from them in some sense, they couldn't access it, they committed suicide. How crazy is that, right? Because their locus of validation was all about what I derive from the world. So one of the things that I would recommend is start practicing your self-talk. Start practicing like, I'm enough, I'm abundant, I'm awesome, I feel great. And you don't need that, or you don't need to receive that from the rest of the world. So summarizing all the frameworks that we have discussed, the first one is balance across 8 areas of your life. Second is quantifying emotions or your sinusoidal emotions. Third one is growing or growth. Fourth one, finally, is your locus of validation. Okay, so be highly aware of this. Pick and choose any of these frameworks that really work for you, and let us know using the worksheet how actually effective this is for you.